For this cake order, the client had requested vanilla cake with the strawberry buttercream. I personally am not a huge fan of using artificial strawberry flavor because I always find that taste, artificial. So I decided to chop up some strawberries, let them soak with some sugar, and fold them into my buttercream. Now in hindsight, I wish I had crushed up my strawberries more before adding them to my buttercream because trying to smooth out the outside with all those strawberry chunks was not a pleasant experience. I chose to do the floral buttercream versus cutting it out of fondant simply because I am not a huge fan of the taste or texture of fondant, so with my own personal cake decorating style, I try to avoid using it when I can. So for this part, I took what I believe is called a scribe tool just to give me a little outline of the projected image. That way when my hand is blocking the projector, I still have an outline that I can work around. I personally never call it a scribe tool if that is the correct name. I generally either call it the metal pointy thingy or the metal toothpick personally. So this was actually my first time using this technique on a cake. So there was definitely a lot of trial and error when I was working on this specific image. My biggest takeaway was definitely that I should have started working with the middle of the picture and then working my way out. That way as I'm smoothing out the buttercream, I'm not accidentally digging parts that are already completed and then having to go back over and do them again. So I didn't feel like making a very, very tiny amount of black buttercream for these little details, so I decided to hand paint in all these black parts instead. Now for this part, I didn't have any particular plan, so you'll notice a couple of times where I'm scraping off icing and changing my mind just because I decided, I don't think that looks so good. I definitely prefer to kind of just go with the flow and just figure out my piping as I go versus trying to map out the whole design ahead of time. And then in typical Rochelle fashion, I decided to add some sprinkles to this cake because who doesn't love sprinkles? And there we have it, folks. The cake is all done. I was personally super happy with how this cake turned out. But even more importantly, the birthday girl absolutely loved it.